Hi, good afternoon, Dr. Gopal. How are you today?
Hi, Adarsh. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. I have a few questions for you. The first one is, unfortunately, some applicants won't match into residency. What should they do first?
Well, they should certainly be introspective about the reasons why they didn't match. Like, is there a weakness in your file, which could be something obvious, like a low step score or a bad grade on your MSPE or a transcript, but it may not. It may be something less obvious, like maybe one of your letters of recommendation isn't as strong as it could have been since you guys waive your rights to see those letters and you're not sure what's actually in them. Or it could be how you were perceived on the interview day. Remember, perception is really key, and it could be that you bombed an interview as a perception, or it could be you did great on the interview, but maybe you were perceived negatively by someone else who would be scoring you, maybe a resident you interacted with or the program coordinator. Either way, if you connected well with some program director or associate program director during the interview season, you should try to email them and see if they're willing to talk to you or meet with you about what you could have done better or how you could bolster your file or application for the upcoming year.
Absolutely. What can some of the applicants do to improve their interviewing skills?
Well, one good way to be improving yourself would be to find a US-based physician, preferably a faculty member from a residency program if possible, to do mock interviews with you so you can get immediate feedback on your techniques and how you come across, how you're perceived, and how you handle the behavioral interviewing questions. How is your conversational manner overall? Another thing you could do is get a residency coach. They can help you both with that aspect of it, the interviewing, and also looking over the rest of your file to see what ways you could bolster it and improve it. Though I hear these residency coaches can be quite expensive and may not be worth the expense. Absolutely.
What else can the applicants do to bolster their application?
Well, for the IMGs, you could take step 3, especially if you got below a 240 on step 2, taking step 3 and getting a great score can really go a long way to showing you can be even more academically excellent. Step 3 is a bit harder than step 2, so anything above a 230 would show, I think, improvement there. Of course, you can consider getting more U.S. clinical exposure, especially if it's on floors or ambulatory medicine, to get a general medicine letter, and that way submit even stronger letters. You could also consider getting a year of research under your belt so that you can culminate that in a first author publication. That would look great on a resume. Also, one might consider trying to get a master's degree, like a master's in public health and a PH from a great academic institution. A good example might be Harvard, and this can really bolster your resume.
Absolutely. I have one last question. Are there any other possible paths forward?
Yeah, there are two main paths I can think of. One would be that even while you apply for categorical positions, you can also apply for prelim year positions during that same match year. And that way, if you match at least for prelim, it gets one foot in the door, and you can try to use that to get yourself into the rest of a residency, a second and a third year. That program that you match at for prelim year could frequently help you with that. Either continuing on in the same program or getting a position for second and third year in a different program. For instance, Jacobi in the past has had several prelims. We no longer have a prelim year, but in the past we've had several prelims that wanted to stay in internal medicine, and we've been able to get almost all of them into second year spots, either at Jacobi, less likely, or more likely at other programs. One could also consider doing a transitional year, but it is a less robust option with regard to being able to stay in internal medicine as a second year. Another thing you can do is consider other fields that might be useful. For instance, historically, some of the easier fields to get into would be family medicine, preventative medicine, and physical medicine rehabilitation, PM&R. And the one that is closest for those interested in going to internal medicine specifically would be family medicine, though from that field you don't really have those robust options of subspecializing.
Absolutely. It can be tough for the applicants who didn't match in their first attempt, but with all your tips, I think if they follow them, they have a good chance of matching the second time, so all the best to them.
Yeah.
And hope they are able to match into the field of their choice.
Don't lose hope. I think some of these things can really help you for a second time around.